So far, we have established that the colonial master comes over here with the idea that he needs to universalize his way of life. That is how he lives, is the only way to live, and that is the way others should live. Now, from where did this thought come to his head? What is the genesis of this thought? To understand this, you need to reflect, or you need to understand the history from which the colonizer was coming towards Bharat. All right, the Western European society went through a very big transformation before they embarked on this journey of colonization. There were some principles that came out of certain movements that we need to understand in order to understand the coloniality, in its real sense. Okay. So during the 16th century and the 17th century, at the very beginning of the 17th century, what happened was there was increasing concentration of power in the hands of the Catholic Church. Okay, during that period, it was downstream for the Roman Empire. All right, Roman Empire had already hit its peak, and it was on its way to its downfall. So what happened was there was increasing concentration of power in the hands of the priestly class of the Roman Church. And what they did was there was this increasing interference. They were considered to be the heavenly ordained by God. So only they were the ones who can interpret the word of God, and hence there was this increasing revolt from the commoners, people who were outside the church. That led to the Protestant movement. All right, they believe that we do not need these Catholic priests in order for us to practice our own Christian faith. Now, this idea that you do not need the priestly class led to many other denominations within the Protestant movement as well, such as the Calvinists and the Lutherans. All right. Now, the Holy Church, the Catholic Church, realized this, that we cannot dilute the Christian principle. Hence, after fighting a 30 years war, it was a very bloody war. There are millions of people who died in that war, but history books will not tell you this. So, after the 30 years of war, they reached a peace. Okay, a peace treaty was signed that was called Peace of Westphalia. You can look this up on the internet. And they came to the conclusion that each individual Christian denomination has a sovereign right to practice its own denominational Christian identity. So you see the distinction between the Western countries of Western Europe and the eastern part of Europe, more specifically Russia. Why do we call Russia Orthodox Christianity and the western part of Europe as Reformed Christianity? So after the Protestant Reformation, after the peace treaty that they signed after fighting a war for more than 30 years, they came up with this idea of sovereign states. That is, your own individual Christian identity coincides with your national identity, and you can form a sovereign state based on that national identity. Hence, you see that there are states in Western Europe such as France, Germany, and all those countries. They have their own specific denomination of Christianity, whereas the entire landmass of Russia is associated with Orthodox Christianity. So in this way, they came about this idea of a nation state. Now, when they came about this idea of a nation state, they realized that there has to be, let's say, for example, there is a nation in Western Europe where Calvinists, there is one of the denomination of the Protestant Reformation, they are in a majority. So what about the people who subscribed to the minority denomination of Christianity in that specific country? So they evolved this idea of secularism, that the state shall not, or the church shall not interfere with the state. But that entire idea was within the premise of the Christian fold, meaning the overall nature of the state has to be Christian, but within that, if you practice any other denomination, you are allowed to do that. Keep in mind, over here, there wasn't anyone exactly a minority, because everyone over there belonged to the Christian fold, be it Protestant, be it Catholics. All right, so this is the entire genesis of the idea of secularism, that we are led to believe that in an idealistic state, the state is not supposed to subscribe to any other religion. All right, now what this did was each individual Christian denomination, they were they realized that the more people who subscribe to their denomination, the more powerful their own national identity will be. This is the germ for the politics of nationalism. All right, so the German believed that their denomination of Christianity has to be superior. The French believed their denomination of Christianity has to be superior, similar to the people in United Kingdom as well. So now that these countries have well specific defined boundaries, so we can say that. But in the earlier times, when these things were actually going in practice, there weren't exactly any political boundaries. But this is the genesis of that thought.